Hey, eCom Masters, welcome to the show. My name is Mike Weiss, Chief Community Officer at Dropshipping, and as a thank you for tuning in to the e-commerce mastery show, we've put together a special podcast-only e-commerce training just for you. Now, in it, you're going to learn the ins and outs of how to set up your own brand of products where you can literally put your own labels, brands, logos, and messaging over top of top-selling, in-demand, high-quality, high-profit products that are exclusive to supplements, CBD, skincare, and pet products. And here's the key: no minimum order quantities, no upfront inventory costs. And I'm going to show you how to do this in literally minutes. Now, guys, we refined these principles over the course of 5 years with working with over 100,000 of our own e-compreneur customers just like you. So to get immediate 100% free access, all you got to do is go to dropify.com/podcast-special, or you can just click the link below and you're going to learn exactly how we do this in just minutes. Thank you so much for being part of the Dropify family and enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of E-Commerce Mastery. I'm your host, Ben Gothard, and today we have the honor of speaking with the one, the only, the man who is currently an American living in Japan, who's been involved in e-com since 2012, running one of the largest niche Shopify stores on Facebook, who's helped thousands of people become successful with e-com, and you will be one of them if you implement what you will learn today. The one, the only, the legendary Chris Blair.
Sorry, that build up. How are you guys doing? This is Chris Blair. I'm actually, you guys are wondering why I'm in this unusual outfit. When we scheduled this 2 weeks ago, I was planning to be in my office, in Kyoto where I live. I have a little office there, and I was planning to do this whole thing from there. But then suddenly, just 2 days ago, my girlfriend suddenly got a few days off of work, and we really wanted to get out in the countryside. So we decided to go to a hot spring town. I don't know if you know, but in Japan where I live, hot springs are a big thing. So we're up in this mountain town called Kinosaki. We're staying in a Japanese-style resort. You can see the old traditional, windows behind me. My apartment in Kyoto is more modern. This is old style. And since they have yukatas here, which I don't normally wear all the time at home, I thought, you know what? I'm going to wear this for the interview. And I was wearing it around town last night, so going out is great. Feels good just to do something a little different.
When in the hot springs, right?
Yeah, when the hot spring town. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Awesome.
Anyway, do you guys know I'm an American? I grew up in Denver, Colorado, but I've been living in Japan for over 20 years. I love it here. I came here after university, taught English and stuff. One thing led to another, and first because I liked it, and I just started working in the corporate world, and then for personal reasons as well, just started living here, and I've been living here ever since. Now permanent residency, so basically like owning a green card. If you're trying to get it in America, I have permanent residency, so I'm allowed to stay here and do anything I want, which is one of the reasons why I can operate my own business from Japan. Yeah, I'm really happy here. So that's basically the brief introduction as far as my personal why I'm here and in Japan.
Right on. So let's now talk a little bit about your story, and I would love to shift into the gear of e-commerce and really talk about your story of how you got to where you are today.
Okay. I think we need to jump back to 2009, which is before I started e-com. And I'll just go over this part briefly, but from about 2005 to 2010, 2009 is when I started online, but I was doing just online part-time while working. I was working as a headhunter in Tokyo. And to be honest, I was making good money. Most people say this, they weren't making any money in their regular. I was making several $100,000 a year for a few years. And I had saved up a lot of money. And then in 2009, you guys know the subprime thing happened and the Lehman shock happened. And the bottom fell out on headhunting. I mean, literally the bottom fell. I made like almost 200K in 2008 to making, because the way my company worked is I got a $2,000 a month base salary, and then I got 50% of every deal I closed. Okay, so I literally got my base salary in 2009. Nothing else. did not close one single deal all year. So that was quite a shocker. And then during that time, I was searching for something new because I could feel that, okay, you know, this is going to be a rough run. I could tell that it's going to take some time for the market to come back. I mean, there was almost no hiring whatsoever. I mean, they just weren't deals to get. And even if there were deals to get it, every headhunter in Tokyo we were, you know, fighting over it, right? Basically, it was, you know, it was really funny because back in 2005, 2008, the market was really good. Japan was booming. Foreign capital companies were looking for Japanese talent who spoke English, and I was in that niche work. I was helping them headhunt these guys who speak English and have extra skills and all that. And there was this hiring open. So literally, I was so busy sometimes that I would literally hand off a deal, and I'd say to the client, "Hey, I can't do that. Can you let me introduce you to my friend?" Well, 2009 suddenly it's like I'll take any potential deal I can get because I'm not closing anything. So it was horrible. So then 2010, I started really saying, you know what, I'm going to focus on something else. The market, by the way, I was right. It took 2 or 3 years for the headhunting market to come back from that. And I was looking to make money online, and I'm kind of a little embarrassed to admit, but I didn't know anything about it, but I started doing MLM online. And then it took me about a few months to realize that this is kind of shady. So this is not something that I really want to be involved in. So here I was, you know, starting to learn my online skills, and I started to trying to I heard about JVZoo, and I was learning Facebook ads and Google ads and all sorts of stuff. So I started running traffic to affiliate offers, okay? And I lost a lot of money. So for the entire 2010, I actually didn't make any profit. Luckily, I had money, and I was able to live on my savings. And I had the same thing in 2011. So then again, so I've gone 2 years without making any money online. It was really frustrating. In fact, losing money. I'm making sales, but running ads at a loss, and paying for my living expenses in Tokyo and everything that goes along with that. So, and Tokyo's not a cheap city to live. Maybe I should have moved out to the countryside. I don't know. It was a long story short. So I literally went through a 2-year window where I was hurting. Okay. And so I was to the point where I was about to give up. I only had a few months of money left to be able to survive in my pocket, and I literally made a phone call to my old president of my headhunting company, because I heard from my friends still working there that things are coming back. And I asked him, I said, would you welcome back? And he was, absolutely, you were my top guys. I'll welcome you back. But then we just had this long conversation, and it really interesting, because I remember Axel really helped me out here. Axel said, Chris, I can tell, and I've known you now, we worked together for 5 years. I can tell from this conversation, your voice, your tone, the things you're saying to me, that your heart is not in coming back to headhunting.
Wow.
That's what I feel. He goes, it was a Thursday. He goes, take the weekend to think about it, if you really want this or not. And I did. And then I called him up on Monday. I said, you know what? I'm going to try a few more months in the line, see what happens. And at that point, I was just really at a total frustration point. And so I started, at that point, I'd been around for a while. People would see me around, but I was not making a lot of money. And I was at a total frustration point. I burned through, I was lucky to have savings that could finance my business in life for 2 years. At this point, I was up against the wall. And so I was just like, you know what to do? I need some help. So I reached out to people. So I told this person what I'm doing. I'm running affiliate offers, right? I'm grabbing the hottest, new trendy product on JVZoo, and I'm running Google ads, Facebook ads, and I'm running all these different ads platforms to this. And I'm writing blog articles about it. I'm doing YouTube videos, and just trying to, and he goes, stop. That's your problem. I said, what do you mean it's a problem? Because you're trying to do too much. You're trying to do too many things. You haven't had success at anything, and you're trying to become a master of all of them. He goes, start picking offers, and just pick one traffic source and just focus all your energy on this. And this was the magic breakthrough. And I started, and it wasn't, to be honest, it wasn't a lot of money. I started making around $200 to $500 a day profit running Facebook ads to JVZoo offers. And at the time, after 2 years in a row of losing money, for me, that wasn't life-changing money. I mean, that was like, okay, I can start to sustain the lifestyle you was living. But it was
That's a huge turning point. It's a huge inflection point.
Yeah, yes, because like now I'm at least consistently making money. It's 5 to 50. On average, it will be about $6,000, which is not a lot of money in Tokyo, but it's survivable. It's livable money, right? So now I'm making money. Okay, so that continued through almost the entire 2012. And at that point, I heard about this thing called Teespring. And at first I laughed about it. T-shirts, Teespring. What are you talking about? I mean, really? People can't make a lot of money selling T-shirts. But then I started, Don Wilson and all those people in his group just selling huge amounts of, I'm like, wow, man. So I started digging into that. At the same time, I started testing that just a little bit here and there. I actually published a course called 2 Cent Facebook Clicks, and I talked about how I was running very cheap Facebook ads to affiliate offers. I wasn't running cheap ads to T-shirts, but I just started playing with the T-shirt at that time. And so I started to apply some of the principles I had learned from Facebook ads to T-shirts. And over time, I started to have success. And beginning of 2013 is when I really launched my first big winning shirt with the partner I was with at the time. To this day, it's still one of the top selling products Teespring ever had. It was a photography from the photography niche. Said I shoot people and sometimes cut off their head, and that was the first T-shirt that really exploded. And we sold that for a long time. And what occurred to me was that was the moment I realized that this T-shirt eCom game is potentially huge. And the thing about JVZoo and running affiliate offers, I'm not criticizing that business model. That's based, and there's a lot of people who make products and do launches, and that they make a lot of money, and there's a lot of affiliates who make a lot of money off of doing that business model. But the problem is, unless you build a big mailing list, right, you're constantly depending on traffic, and also it's a model based on the flavor of the week. The product's the flavor of the week, and then all the people in the internet business world go out and buy it, and then it's over. It only lasts so long. So you have to constantly search for the new one. So, and I felt that this is not, even though I was making consistent money and it was great, I didn't feel like it was scalable. That I could start to make some serious money. And I was used to living in making good cash. I just told you ahead of time. So I wanted to get back to that and more. Okay. So I looked at the T-shirt game as something that's more scalable, because the market matters. When you're running JVZoo products, right, you're advertising to a limited number of people who are interested in internet marketing, and that's it. Your market's is small. But when you're running photography shirts or beer shirts or ski shirts, suddenly your marketplace is this big. It's huge, right? And you can run the lifespan of a product for a JVZoo launch product is about a week or two. A lifespan, guys, I have one expression on a hat right now in my current store, which I'm going to tell you guys, I'm not going to hide this from you guys. There's no point. I got 2 shops, one with a partner, but I got to tell in secret. One I'm more open about because it's already so exposed. You can go look it up. It's got almost 100,000 fans. It's Last Beer Standing. You can find the fan page. But on that hat, on that site, I got one hat that I've been running with an expression since 2016, and it's still a hot seller today. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And that's the other beautiful part about print on demand with these expressions. I've taken that same expression and a couple other expressions, and I put it on T-shirts, mug cups, tumblers, flip-flops, all sorts of stuff under. So I can take the same idea, and once you have a winning concept of print on demand, and you have a big marketplace, you can take the same idea and just regurgitate over many different things. That's the beautiful part about the print on demand space, and also when you have a large marketplace to go after. So anyway, so I started having success for the first time in 2013 with print on demand. I was lucky and fortunate. I don't know if you guys know, but Teespring plus Fabry had a big event, their first ever event. They joint sponsored. Fabry was the European arm of Teespring. They were basically the same company, but they just had two different names at that time. I don't know why. That was their own business setup. But they had a big event in London, and because I was one of the top sellers, and I had also had successfully coached up a few other sellers they knew about, they invited me to come speak at their event in London. I'm sure you can find that video on YouTube. You just search advanced targeting. You seen that one, Ben?
I have not, but I can research it and find it.
Yeah, just search Teespring London advanced targeting. There was a live. I was invited to that event, and that really, before up that point, I had coached a few people, but that was the case. That was in 2014 where I really got heavily into the coaching business, because one, when I did that speech there, I enjoyed it a lot. I really enjoyed getting up there and doing that. And so then I realized, when I first came to Japan, I was a teacher. Actually, I taught English for 3 years, and I loved that too. Although you can't make good money with teaching English, is why I left that. But when I started doing that live event, and I started getting more and more coaching, I realized how much I love the coaching. So I decided to start really getting serious about doing coaching. And I've been doing private coaching and training ever since then, seriously, right? As part of my lifestyle and my business. So in 2014, I continued to sell on Teespring. And then 2015 came along. Sorry about the long story, but unlike most people, I've been in this game for a very long time. So bear with me. We're gonna get through this.
Very much encouraged. I'm loving the detail here.
Okay, so back in 2015, I opened up a dropship store. Dropshipping became a big thing, and I opened up a dropship store called Kuliyama. And it was a general dropship store, which a lot of people do. I had grandma niche, mom niche, beer niche, photography niche. It was so weird. Everything on the sudden. By the mailing list was a nightmare. That's one of the biggest problems with a dropship store. You're segmenting your mailing list and managing your mailing list when they're all from different niches. But anyway, I had a general dropship store, and I was making a boatload of money. And in fact, that was really, really profitable store because I was dropshipping shit necklaces, trying to excuse my language, but the quality of them was really not so good. And selling them for a high markup. Okay. And we were making the expressions on the necklaces were really, really working, and they were selling, and there was a couple other photography necklaces. But the problem was we weren't getting any repeat customers. Literally no repeat customers. And when we'd email our list, we would get not no repeats, but very few. Email list, we literally get replies back saying, I waited 5 weeks for my product and its quality's no good. So I was sitting, but by the way, I'm not here to bag on drop shipping. I actually, be honest with you, I have coaching students right now currently doing drop shipping. Okay. In fact, what I do is I teach them how to connect with an agent who can help fulfill the dropship process to make it good and more efficient. And also, dropshipping is great for newbies to eCom because it's so much easier to find a winning product. One of the biggest, we're going to get into print on demand here, guys. And one of the biggest problems with print on demand, and I love print on demand. I just mentioned how you can take one winning idea and you can go run it over many of the products for a long time. But you have to literally swim through a pool of shit to find that winning idea. Okay, I'm just being completely honest here. So it's infinitely harder to find a selling product print on demand than it is with dropshipping. With dropshipping is easier because you just go in and you find stuff that's worked and you can start to get the ball rolling. So I actually often recommend to newbies, start with dropshipping. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's bring in some cash. Let's get some, things, and then we can transition to print on demand. I recommend them all. And I have students who are doing hybrid. So I'm not here to bag it all on dropshipping, but there are some things you need to be aware of. The long shipping times, the quality can be an issue. So I was really sitting in a frustrating point, and like, I made a lot of money on the store, but I don't feel like I have a quality brand. I don't think I can sell. I mean, no one's going to buy this. It's not a sellable asset. It was just basically a money machine, okay, which is not what I wanted. I wanted something that was sustainable, long-term. And at that point, Customcat came out. I don't know if you know what Customcat was, but
Sure.
Before that, there was only a couple print on demand suppliers for Shopify, and they were offering a very limited number of products. So, Customcat came along, and it was just incredible timing. I was to the point, and I remember this. This was New Year's, and in Japan, New Year's is a big deal. I decided to take a few days off for New Year's. I literally decided, you know what? I'm just gonna completely cut off. I literally just cut off for 4 days. And it was New Year's 2016. And I was at a point where I was like, man, we just got, I looked at my PayPal, and over the year, we had like some 500 some claims or disputes. Now we had tracking, we won most of them, so it wasn't a loss. We have a mailing list that when we email, they complain to us and say, I'll never buy from you again. I've got a Shopify site with like 30 different products from different niches, right? Sorry, 30 types of products from different niches, right? By the way, if you do dropshipping, I still recommend you don't go general, so you go niche store, because at least you're building something that's long-term sustainable, and you can jump into print other stuff from that. But so I was like really at a point, I was like, you know what? I have spent the last year, my first attempt going from a platform like Teespring to Shopify. I spent the last year just making money. That's basically all I've done. I have a business that has got a true value of zero. anyone who would go and buy it would say, look, all your traffic's based on some hot products selling on Facebook. Your mailing list is crap. Because I went to my Klaviyo, and our money from mailing was basically our cart abandonment emails. These people haven't bought yet. When I'm talking about the campaign emails, when you send out an email blast to your current customers or old customers, and they don't buy anything, and they complain. In fact, I was getting complaints. So I was like, man, this is not good. I mean, this is really not good. So I was really soured on the dropship model at that time. And by the way, I sense now, again, I have students who do the dropship model. Now that there's things like your service, right, and agents who can really help you identify good suppliers and make it work smoothly, it's totally changed the game, and it's awesome. But at the time, there wasn't that option. Those options didn't exist. So it was like you would go, you get the order, and you have to go on AliExpress, and you have to type it in. And I had 5 VAs in the Philippines doing that work. And I was like, man, this is not a good business model. And Customcat got print-on-demand products. I know print-on-demand very well. Let's jump back into that. And then I started reflecting on the fact that I didn't have a true brand based on one niche. And I had a pretty big-sized beer page, 10,000 people. And more importantly than that, I grew up in Colorado, right? I'm kind of embarrassed to admit the truth, but I'm just going to be totally open. As in high school, I chewed tobacco and I drank beer. It was I live in Hick area of Colorado. So I really understood. And I hate tobacco, and I'm embarrassed that I did that in high school. Luckily, I didn't get mouth cancer. Anyway, but I understood the mentality of these people. And I was still a pretty big beer drinker now. So I started thinking to myself, I have a fan page. It was called Beer Lovers at the time. 10,000 fans. I can build off that. I can just change the name because it allows you to change the name one time. I know the beer market. I know what really resonates with people. Why don't I build a business solely on the beer niche? And that was the moment. It took about a week to come up with the domain titles. I came up with the name Last Beer Standing. As you can imagine, the beer niche is very, very competitive. In fact, when I told a couple of people, my friends, this is what I'm going to do, I had 2 sellers just laugh at me. Because you're going up against some major competition in there. There's no way. Like, you know what? I can do this. I was so confident. And yeah, long story short, I now own the biggest one. I think I was maybe the second biggest one. There's one other one that's quite big too. So the second biggest beer site on Facebook. We've been operating and profitable since 2016.
That is an awesome story. So you mentioned a few different fundamentals here that I think are unbelievably powerful. And I'd like to start by digging into this idea of choosing of eliminating most of the things you're doing and focusing on the one most important thing. And it seems like that happened twice. It seems like it happened once when you decided to focus on Facebook ads selling JVZoo products. And then it seems like again, when you said, I'm going to focus on one niche and one type of product, like print on demand.
That's right. Yeah. So okay. The thing about traffic, and here's what I didn't realize about traffic then, is okay. With the exception of certain traffic sources, for example, Reddit. Right. We've tested out Reddit as recently, and there is not enough traffic there to truly build a big business on it, unless you're really in a niche that's got a lot of people on Reddit. But if you're in a standard niche that's got a sizable audience, Instagram or Facebook. Instagram and Facebook now are in a lock, so you can go ahead and it's easy to work them together because they're all one ads platform. But Google, Twitter, YouTube ads, all these different platforms, they can actually provide you enough traffic to build a 7-figure income. I'm not talking about revenue. I'm talking about a actual. I'm not going to say you're doing this, guys. You have to do everything. I'm not one of these guys out there saying, "Oh, it's so easy," and I'm going to stand in some of my Ferrari, and you'll be standing from your Ferrari here soon. No, that's bullshit. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, you can build a 7-figure income profit business with just one traffic source. Now, you need to do everything right. You need to really master that traffic source. You need to get the right niche, got the right products. The stars have to be aligned. But the point is, if you can build a 7-figure business income back, you can not easy, but I don't want to say the word easily because I don't like to mislead people, but it's very possible that you can build a $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, and so on for income on one traffic source. I've seen people do it a lot. My own students have done it. Okay, so the point I'm trying to say is you don't. A lot of people think you need to master Google ads and you master Twitter ads, and I was doing the same thing, but you don't. So if you just focus and become really good at one traffic source, and you're getting good at that, and you start making profit, that's all you need. Then you can decide later on. Okay, I'm kind of good at this one. I'm good at Facebook ads with Instagram. They're tied together now. They weren't before. A couple of years ago, they were actually separate, but now they're one. Okay, now maybe I'll Twitter. Which, by the way, we can't advertise on Twitter. Twitter won't let us advertise because they're very, very family friendly when it comes to their advertising platform. We literally launched one ad campaign, and we got a message from Twitter like an hour later saying your ads account's been closed. You can use Twitter as a normal tool, but you're not allowed to advertise because of profanity on your website.
Oh no!
Yeah, Twitter won't have it. On Google Ads, we have to put adult content, but
at least you can still go there.
Yeah, we have to click adult content for it. Because on my website, I'm just forewarning you guys, it's got a lot of dirty jokes related to beer. But anyway, by the way, I want to point out that just because my website has that doesn't mean that it doesn't work across my methods don't work across all different platforms. I've worked with 2 students in the Christian niche, which can't be any more far away from where I'm selling, and I've helped them have a massive success. So my stuff works across all niches. I just happen to be in this niche that's a little bit edgy. Let's just use the word edgy. So anyway, the point I'm trying to say is you just need to focus on one thing, get good at it, master it, and once you're starting to have success and making profit with that, then you can start to add. But again, add one at a time. Don't just say, okay, I got Facebook, Instagram going. Okay, beautiful. Now I'm going to add SEO. I'm going to add Google, and so on and so forth. Now, one thing that I do tell people is if you have a store that's been running profitable, successful for 6 months, and it's in the niche, and you think you got a long-term sustainable brand, there's 2 things you should do immediately. Number 1, go out and buy your domain for 10 years. Okay, Google loves that. It shows you that you're committed. They will immediately boost your ranking because it's that little simple trick. They know that this is something that they're taking seriously. Okay. And number 2, actually, I recommend this from the beginning. I own all sorts of different, like lastmanstanding.co.org. All sorts of different plays on that. But you should actually probably do that in a few weeks. As far as buying the other domains, you should do that within a few weeks. And then the third thing, and I didn't realize this until I started helping a couple students wanting to sell their site. I've actually helped now 5 different businesses sell their site, and I've seen the due diligence questions that an potential investor is going to ask. And one of the questions is how much traffic are you getting that's non-paid advertising? How much traffic are you getting? And also, what's your revenue from your mailing list? Okay. And there's a reason for that. A potential investor wants to know if they can get traffic without running ads, right? They want to know if they can just literally sit back and just let the site be there and sales will come in. Okay. So that brings me back to what I said after 6 months. After 6 months, if you're profitable, I suggest that you go ahead and find a good SEO company and outsource and start doing that. Okay. Now, I'm not suggesting you actually do SEO yourself. You can outsource the blog writing. You can outsource, but start doing that. Start trying to build organic traffic because, guys, paid traffic is great. In fact, you can scale up. That's what I love about paid traffic. You can go from having a product making 2 or 3 sales a day to 100 sales a day, even 200 sales a day within days with paid traffic because you can buy as much with Facebook ads, with Google ads, with YouTube. I can turn on as much traffic as I want. It's literally like I can turn on the faucet. But the thing about it here is the moment I stop paying for that ad, the water stops. Now, there is some organic reach on Facebook from some shares and comments and like that, but it's more of a drip, right? It's not the flood, right? Now, with SEO, it's slow and it's going to take time. You got to understand that. But once you start to establish ranking, you keep it and you own that real estate for a very long time. So if you're going to build something that's long-term sustainable, and after a 6-month point, you got a real business that's starting to grow, and it's based on a niche, I suggest you pay someone for SEO and start to get that process going.
Hi there, eCom Masters. Mike Weiss here again with a friendly reminder that you've unlocked access to our exclusive podcast-only training on how to create your own supplement, CBD, pet, or skincare brand in just minutes, where we're going to break down from A to Z exactly how to put your own design on top-selling products and start selling in just minutes. It's incredible. Now, the principles that you're going to learn are exactly the same principles that we've used with our customers who did over $2 billion. That's right, with a B, $2 billion in sales last year alone. You cannot afford not to take me up on this free training. So to get immediate 100% complimentary access, all you got to do is go to dropify.com/podcast-special, or you can just click the link below in the show notes. I will see you soon.
So it seems like we want to at first master some sort of paid traffic or some sort of traffic source. Use that to really prove concept and build a business in a specific niche with long-term focus. And then once we've proven that concept out for about 6 months, then we really start to dig in and lay down the roots. And we know that we're in that for the long haul.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what I recommend. Because not all niches will work for you guys. Just because I've seen a lot of people try to come in and compete with me in the beer niche, and it doesn't work. And that doesn't mean that the beer niche is not good. It doesn't mean that the beer niche is not profitable, because it is. But it just means that for some reason that it doesn't resonate with you, or you have trouble connecting with those type of people, and you're having trouble coming with product ideas that will work.
So,
and I've seen that a lot, actually. Some people, for whatever reason, they don't resonate with that particular niche.
So I think one important thing that's a really good segue into is knowing your customer and knowing what's going to resonate with your customer, because it seems like another thing that you really deployed in your favor is the fact that you understood at a fundamental level who your customer was.
That's right. I understood. I grew up with these people. I understood who my customer was, and I understood the type of jokes or expressions that would hit with them.
So can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So what I always recommend, so if someone comes to me and they say you sign up for coaching and you're a total newbie, you have no existing store or anything that we can start from. A lot of people already do, and so we just go ahead and try to build off what they have, if we can. Sometimes there's situations where I have rare situations where I said, look, I think we should change gears. But let's just say you don't have anything in place. The first question I'm going to ask you is, okay, what are you passionate about? Let's talk about the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that you are most passionate about. And then we have a discussion on them. And I'm fortunate because I've been in this game for a long, long time. And I started Teespring in 2012. So, I mean, I've been in this game for a long, long time. So I've seen a lot of niches. And sometimes there are some niches I will actually advise people against. One of them, for example, is the motivational, inspirational niche. Okay. People go on to YouTube, they listen to Les Brown, they buy books by T. Harv Eker. They may even buy a canvas, and I've seen a successful site built on canvases and wall art, right? With those inspirational, but there's also a stigma attached to this, and people don't buy T-shirts and hats and things like that with, be the man or build a successful business. They just don't. I mean, there are a few people who do, but they're just such a small amount of people that, and they're going to go on to Amazon searching and try to build a business based on that. I've seen 2 people try and they totally crash and burn, and then moving on to another niche. So I just don't recommend that for them. There's a few other ones, but that's just one example. So the point is, try to pick something that you know, okay? And if there are some people, for whatever reason, they don't have a hobby or a passion, right? Or whatever. Then we say, okay, let's think about something that you're interested in learning more about, right? Because you got to learn about your niche. You should know your niche, especially if you're going to try to build a brand in it, better than you know your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, boyfriend, but even your kids. You should research your niche. What I mean by that is, like, for example, what I tell people, I give you some activities. I say, look, I want you to come up with a list of your top 10 competitors on Facebook. If you can't find 10, whatever, the top competitors you can find on Facebook, right? Okay. Number 2, let's go look at their products, right? Try to figure out what they're selling, right? What actually is selling for them. But also, not just that. I want you to go through, and this is a lot of work. I tell them to go through 6 months of posts on their fan page. Look at every meme or video that's got a lot of shares and comments, and save it onto a hard drive. That is an idea library. And also, just by looking at and looking at them and seeing them and seeing what resonates will help you get a good understanding of what makes these people tick.
That makes so much sense, because you're really immersing yourself into the space where they already are. So you're starting to really understand, okay, what's getting laughs, what's getting hearts, what's getting smiles, what's getting nothing, because that's
what's getting comments. That's right. Yeah, and that's getting nothing tells you that doesn't hit for some reason.
That makes a ton of sense. So now we've mastered one traffic source. I realize it takes a lot more than, than a 10-minute focus on that. But we understand that we need to master a traffic source.
Mm-hmm.
We need to really understand our customer. What other fundamentals here are we missing that we haven't touched on yet that have been really critical to your success?
Here's the thing, and this is a product-based business. It really is. Okay, you could have. Oh yes, sorry. Let me. Before I talk about products, let me jump quickly. You should make a good site layout. Okay, you should make a good site layout. Spend some time, make sure your site has got trust badges, it's got a good layout. Find some sites that look good and model those and really make your site good. Okay, but here's the thing, guys. Okay, so a site is like, I always like to put it in the form of a car. Okay, a website is the frame and seats of the car and the steering wheel. Okay, traffic is the gasoline. But how far are we going to get without an engine?
We're not going.
Who wants a car with no engine, but looks beautiful? Fully gassed up.
Not me.
Not me. Okay, so here's the thing, guys, and this is the thing, and this is the thing I say all the time. So many people are focused on what I call Facebook Kung Fu. They want to become a master at every single detail of Facebook advertising, pixel optimization, custom conversion, custom ads, look like that. If you don't have a good offer, you don't have a business. Let me repeat that. If you don't have an offer that's making sales, you don't have a business. So once you get some basics of Facebook ads or Google ads or whatever, right? You need to know some basics, right? I'm not saying completely not learn anything, but just get the basics, how to set up an ad, simple targeting, that. You can get in the advanced stuff later. The Kung Fu comes later when you have something that's really working, okay? Get a good website up, but then you should spend 99.99% of your time daydreaming and researching about products. And here's the thing. You just need one winner. I shit you not. You literally need just one winner. I've seen some guys make huge amounts of money on one product. Now, obviously, you get more, it's great, but you just need one. And here's what happens. Let's just say, guys, okay, let me tell you right now. Let me say something here, right? Okay? If I could make 10,000 sales this week on a given product and actually make zero profit, I'd be doing cartwheels. I'd be jumping up and down saying, yes. And here's why. And you're saying, wait, zero profit. Especially if you have good delivery, good quality products, what I do with print on demand, and if you're using your service, right, and you're getting good fast shipping from China, it's getting there within 2 weeks, it's good quality. So if you got, you got your dropshipping method right, or you got your print on demand supplier right, you're getting good fast shipping, delivery products. That's 10,000 people who will receive their product in a timely manner and are happy with the products. You can mail them. The true money in this business is in the lifetime value. The true money in this business is not in the ads. Yeah, I can make a lot of money with ads, but the real money is in the lifetime value of a customer, and most people are not even thinking about that. That is where the money is, guys. If there's an old expression in marketing, the money's in the list, it's the same thing online. The money's in the list. Because it's more than just the 10,000 people. Just think about all the cart abandonments I get. getting, right? The browser abandonment emails I can send out, right, with Klaviyo. The actual people who put in the email list. So if I've got 10,000 customers, new customers this week, that probably means I got about 20,000 to 30,000 people on my cart abandonment and browse abandonment list combined, right? So that's literally 30,000 plus people that I can market to over and over and over again. The money's in the list. So guys, the thing is, it's all about, here's the thing about paid advertising. This is the one thing that's downside about this, okay? My brother used to work at Amazon, okay? And it's the same thing on Amazon, by the way. So don't just think. He said that roughly 15 to 20% of their products run about 70 to 80% of their sales.
Wow.
Okay, it's the same thing with Amazon. And it's the same thing with any retail shop. You walk into a retail shop, they have a few hot products and the rest is filler. They will sell here and there, okay? There's 3 types of products you want in your store. Number one, there's less is more. Get rid of it. Never makes any sales. You don't want that. And you say, why not? I want a full store. Well, no, you don't actually. You don't want a massively full store because when you're starting to get traffic organically, right, and they have to browse through tons of crap that they don't want, they're going to leave. They're going to bounce. So you should actually have a lean store. In fact, to be honest, you know what? I'm going to say, if you go to Last Beer Standing right now, I've got too many products. My VNA got to get on. I've been lazy on that myself. My VNA need to go through our analytics and figure out what we just got to get rid of because they never sell it all. They're actually a distraction and they hurt your sales from organic traffic, okay? And then there's add-on products, right? And that's the filler ones. That when someone comes from something they're interested in, okay, I'm going to give you a true live example, okay? So you can truly get this, right? And then there's a driver product, what I call a driver, which is some people call it when I call it a driver. Because when I'm talking about a driver, this is the thing that drives people to your traffic, to your website. And when they're on your website, they buy other stuff. And it drives people to your mailing list. It drives people to your cart abandonment list. It drives people to your browser abandonment list. So this is what that's why I call it a driver on a win. I think it's more like this thing that drives people to your site. Okay, so you find your driver, right? And that's where you make your money. Now, obviously, the best type of drivers are the ones you make money up front with the sale, which I do. But I would be happy with a driver that I made 0 on if I could sell a boatload of them because I'm building up the back end of my business. Now, let's talk about, I'm going to give you a true live example that you can go see on my website now, okay? There's a perfect add-on product that I have right now. It says, it's a cap that says beer o'clock, okay? I have tried to advertise that. This is my number one add-on product seller by far. In other words, people come based on a different product. They see that in the related products and they add that. And we sell a good number of those beer clocks every single week. And so I've tried so many times to advertise it on Facebook. And every time I do, I lose money. I actually get a lot of engagement and scratch and shares and like, oh, that's great. But it just doesn't convert well enough to be profitable, even to break even. It loses money from ads. It just does. And so I just gave up advertising. So that's a perfect add-on product. This is the type of product that people, it's like when you walk into a grocery store, right? You understand when you walk into a grocery store, you know why they have all that little stuff around the register? The gum, the keychains, because that's the kind of stuff that people, once they're buying, they're in the shopping mode, they will add on. So there's 3 types of products. There's less than more, get rid of them. And I currently have way too much stuff. I got to go through and do my due diligence on my own website. Then there's add-ons, which will make you money as add-ons. And then there's drivers or winners, whatever you want to call them. And your winners will drive all your traffic. And the thing about paid ads, and this is actually the most frustrating thing I see both for dropshippers and for print on demand, because I've done both and I've worked with both. You can run Facebook ads to a product and it's crickets. Nothing. Then you run Facebook ads to another product, crickets. Facebook ads to another product, crickets. There's nothing. No sales coming in. You just feel like you're burning. You might as well be taking your money light on fire. But don't give up. Don't give up because keep going. Keep testing. New product. By the way, also read the data. Don't get emotionally attached to your products. If you're not getting link clicks, add to cart sales after a decent amount of spend, $30, $40 on the product, move on. Okay, if you got a bunch of add to carts, maybe you want to go a little longer to test, go 40, 50. But after about 50, 60, if you're not getting sales, move on. Next. Okay. Then you may get a product that's got 1 or 2 sales, like my beer clock one, but it's converting at a loss. My cost per sale is actually higher than my margin on that. Okay. Eventually, you got to move on to that as well. But then what happens is, and I see this a lot on every single newbie. I had this the other day. Okay, here's an example. Someone I'm working with is a newbie. We've launched a good number, 19 products, and he's made 1 or 2 sales with 19 products. And then he messaged me 3 days ago. He says, Chris, now, by the way, he's making money on this product. He says, Chris, $20 to spend. We have 7 sales today. I can't effing believe it. and seriously, that's what he wrote your actual word out in the messenger. But this is what happens with paid ads. For some reason, some product is like magic, and it just resonates, and it drives people. They jump on it, and you can you can sell huge numbers of this. So any successful Shopify store that's based on a lot of paid ads, if you look at their analytics, you're going to see something that says XYZ product, 15,000 units sold. Maybe the next one is like 3,000 or 4,000 units sold. And then after that, it's like 100, 50, 1, 2. And you may think you're doing something wrong, but that's totally normal.
So it seems like we just need to get very, very strong in the mental fortitude sense and keep testing products until we find our driver.
That's right. Exactly. That is the biggest thing. So I tell every coaching student that joins me, the one, by the way, any first trainer, coach, or guru who guarantees results, they're lying to you. You should run like crazy. Okay? Run from that as much as possible. Because that's just reality. How can I guarantee results? How can anyone? Dude, McDonald's is the most successful franchise model in the world. And they charge a lot for them. They got the branding. They do the advertising for you. They provide you the product. They provide you everything you need. And yet McDonald's franchises fail all the time. Yet there's certain McDonald's franchises that explode and make a lot of money all the time. Okay? So how can I, as a trainer or coach, guarantee results? I can't. So anyone who's telling you they can, they're full of shit. Sorry for my language sometimes, but I really like occasionally making a point. But what I can do is teach you what's worked for me and worked for my other students in the past. Okay? That's what I can do. So, but yes, when you sign up for my coaching or training, one of the first things I say to you is, look, you got to face reality. This might happen quickly. That has happened to some people, but some people it doesn't. And you just have to have the mental fortitude to say, and also one of the biggest mistakes is people get emotionally attached to their products. They spend $100, $200 on testing a product when they're not getting add to carts, they're not getting link clicks, and they're not getting purchases. It's like, why did you spend that much money? You should have been able to know in about $30 to $40 to spend. That's all it took. And some products, to be honest, in $10 to spend, if I haven't even gotten a link click over, and I'm not getting shares and comments on my post, $10. Okay, next. I literally, you got to be, you got to be a data-driven beast. No emotion. Just be cutthroat as hell when it comes to your products. Let the data make your decisions, not your heart. The data is what I'm talking about. Was look at the shares. Are people reacting to the post? Are they commenting? Forget about likes. Likes are garbage, guys. I have some friends of mine who they post things on Facebook that I really don't agree with, but it's from my friend, and I just like it anyway because I want to be courteous to my friend. Okay, so don't pay attention to likes. Comments and shares show real interest. So comments, shares, link clicks, add to carts, purchases. Those are the 5 things that you should care about because they're all actions done by the marketplace. Right? A lot of people get wrapped up in CPM. Well, my CPM is too high. Guys, your CPM doesn't matter. It can be high, low, whatever. It's depending on how much margin you have, right? If you have a high margin product, right? Now I have a product right now I'm selling it's $30 margin, right? And I don't care if my CPM is high. All I care about is that my cost per purchase, my link clicks, my add to carts are within the range to make profit and drive this thing big, okay? And then the shares. So you should be paying attention to 5 things. And this is the 5 things that require your customer to do. Nothing to do with Facebook. All Facebook, guys, okay. Sorry, I'm going to get emotional here. Something that really drives me crazy. I hate this. I see this all the time, especially in these big Shopify groups. Facebook's taking my money, not sending me any sales. Facebook's not converting my ads. It's not Facebook's job to convert your ads. You're paying for traffic. It's your job to have a website that's laid out well and a product offer that resonates and priced right and people want. And you will tell that by the action points I just said. There's 5 action points you should pay attention to. Shares, because if they're sharing it and they're showing other people, that means they're interested, or at least some interest. Even some products like my Bear Clock one, they're interested because it's cute, funny, but they're not really that motivated to buy, which happens, by the way. I've had a lot of products over the years. I think, why? They're sharing, they're coming, they're not buying what? It's frustrating, but that's part of this game, unfortunately. Comments, link clicks, they're actually taking the time to link, click, go over your website. Are they adding the cart and are they purchasing? And by the way, you notice that none of that has anything to do with Facebook's platform. It has everything to do with the customer reaction to the marketplace reaction to your products. So if Facebook is not converting, it's not Facebook's fault. And let me repeat that. If you're blaming Facebook, you're blaming the wrong person. You should be blaming yourself because you don't have the offer that's going to convert. And sorry for being tough, but guys, this is tough love. I want you to get results. Work on your offer. 9 times out of 10, it's the offer. On a rare occasion, people really mess up their site. Now, there's things you can do on your website, but nowadays, there's so many good websites out there. If you just model someone else's website and you get it relatively decent, then you should be okay. And then you can work on really upgrading your website as you go.
That is powerful. Chris, I really can't thank you enough for sharing everything that you have, and I want to be respectful of your time, especially since you are on vacation there.
Yep.
So,
my girlfriend's still sleeping over there.
Well, I'm tremendously appreciative, and I'm seriously, man, thank you so much.
No problem.
I feel like we really just scratched the surface on a lot of these things.
Mm-hmm.
So for people who want to learn more about you and want to get more involved, how do they take the next step?
Okay, so you can contact me on Facebook. So facebook.com, contact with Blair, just private message me. We can talk about my course or mastermind or my private coaching if you're interested. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. It was good fun. I actually love doing this. So.
Me too. Well, again, thank you, Chris. And to you lovely folks watching and listening, I would highly encourage you to listen to this a few times. Really, really take notes. Implement. Do the things that Chris is telling you. Recognize that the words that you're hearing, if you actually take them and apply them into your own life, they can materially change the projection in the course of your life. Like, don't just hear, oh, 9 out of 10 times it's your offer or it's your product, and then go and blame Facebook. Like, recognize that most of the time that's going to apply to you too, because 90% of the time it's a really strong percentage chance. Like, he's not just saying these things to say these things. This is the reality of the situation. So don't act contrary to the reality. Understand the reality. Take that reality for what it is and use it to propel yourself forward. And there's so much treasure here. So, Chris, again, thank you so much for everything you shared. And I'll see everybody on the next episode. Take care now.
Awesome.
Hello again, eCom Masters. Mike Weiss here again with a big thank you for sticking with us to the end of this episode. I know how valuable your time is, and I want to congratulate you for setting yourself apart from the pack by investing your attention into this podcast. Now, make sure to maximize this time by taking notes while it's still fresh, listening to the episode multiple times if you need to, and implementing what you have learned right away into your own business. Now, if you're looking for a little bit more training and want to learn the step-by-step methodology that you need to build the e-com business of your dreams, I want you to join me for an exclusive invite-only training that I'm only giving specifically for podcast listeners. Now, in it, we're going to share the secrets of what we've used to scale Dropified into the 2019 55 fastest growing company in America. You will not find this information anywhere else, guaranteed. To get immediate 100% free access, all you got to do is go to Dropified.com /podcast-special, or just click the link below and in the show notes, and I will see you on the other side.